Good evening. The night has arrived slowly like breath returning after a long day. You can feel it settling across your skin, a hush, a dimming, a slow surrender of color. You are beneath the night sky now. Tonight we drift together through sleep science and astronomy, through the soft physics of starlight. Light that began its journey millions of years ago is entering your eyes at this moment. As the poet wrote, light that left its star before you were born is touching your skin tonight. You can rest now. The title of this quiet voyage is 100 Beautiful Facts About the Night Sky. And in this first part, we listen to how starlight travels, how it becomes the tender glow we call night. Somewhere above the curve of the earth, the day still lingers, blue and bright clouds scattering sunlight. But here, as the sun sinks below the horizon, twilight begins. The air cools, the light softens, and molecules of nitrogen and oxygen begin to scatter the fading rays. Blue light scatters more easily, 10 times more than red. So as the path of sunlight through the atmosphere lengthens, the blues dissolve first. What remains are the low, slow tones of amber and rose, the quiet colors that prepare the mind for rest. When the sun has slipped 6 degrees below the horizon, evening begins to breathe. It is not darkness falling. It is the earth turning away from light, a spinning sphere, 4,0,0,0,0 kilometers around its waist, traveling through space at 30 kilometers per second. The planet turns, and the shadow rises. Somewhere light continues to travel. You can rest now. You are part of that turning. The chair beneath you, the pillow under your head, move with the earth, silent passengers of a cosmic wheel. Your heartbeat echoes the rhythm of the planet's spin. The same atmosphere that carries your breath also bends the light of the stars, shaping the world's quiet beauty each night. It is a thin shell, only 480 kilometers thick, yet it makes the heavens shimmer. When you look up, you are seeing through time. You can rest now. At night, the sky is never empty. It is filled with ancient photons, each one a survivor of distance and silence. Light from Vega in the constellation Lyra travels 25 years to find you 200 trillion kilometers of emptiness, ending in the soft curve of your eye. It arrives without sound, without weight. This is how quiet the universe can be. Even across such vast distances, light does not rush. It drifts. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The color of twilight fades gradually until the sun is 18 degrees below the horizon. Then, full night begins, astronomical night, when the air itself begins to glow faintly from within. That glow is called air glow, a thin veil of radiance, 90 kilometers above the ground. Oxygen and sodium atoms release the sunlight they absorbed during the day. The Earth, in this way, keeps a memory of the Sunday. Even when darkness seems complete, there is a gentle brightness, the planet's own light. You can rest now. If you could rise above the air, you would see the stars no longer twinkle. Their light would reach you sharp and steady. The shimmer we see is not in the stars themselves, but in the moving layers of air between us. The stars appear to blink because the atmosphere is alive. Their flicker is the breath of our world. As light enters the air, it bends and slows, shifting slightly. You never see a star exactly where it is. You see it as the atmosphere dreams it. And somewhere above that dreaming layer, the true light continues in perfect silence. Imagine yourself standing in a quiet field, far from city light. The horizon glows faintly. The first bright point appears, perhaps Sirius, only 8.6 light-years away. Its light left before your most recent birthday, traveling through interstellar gas dust and time. Then, in its final heartbeat, it entered the Earth's air bent and fell upon you. That photon has ended its long journey in your eye. The universe has reached you. You can rest now. The faintest stars you can see are over 1 billion times dimmer than the Sunday. Your eyes, adapted to darkness, can sense just a few photons per second. Under clear skies, you can perceive the Milky Way, a river of 100 billion suns. Blended together, their light merged into a silver band. Astronomers call it integrated starlight. Poets call it night. The night sky has no beginning or end, only soft gradations of glow. Every flicker carries information, temperature, distance, and age. But for now, you do not need to understand. You are built from the same atoms: carbon, oxygen, iron forged in stars and scattered by ancient supernovae. Your body remembers their fire. You can rest now. High above the atmosphere, moves in slow tides of temperature. These waves of air bend the path of starlight, making each sparkle quiver gently. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even when the stars fade behind cloud or moon, the sky still glows. There is always a whisper of light from dust between planets, reflecting sunlight, called zodiacal light. It forms a faint, triangular glow before dawn or after dusk. The dust that creates it is ancient left from comets and shattered asteroids circling the sun for millions of years. Each grain shines with borrowed sunlight, adding one more softness to the night. Between the stars themselves lies near-perfect vacuum, about one lonely atom per cubic centimeter. Most photons travel for eons without touching anything. They cross a universe vast beyond measure, until one evening they find a small planet, a thin atmosphere, and eyes that can see. The universe is not empty. It is vast and waiting. You can rest now. The air around you is a living lens, scattering and blending every ray. Even darkness has texture, the faint green of air glow, the blue-black of scattered dust, the slow pulse of the Milky Way arching above. The night holds your dreams in this soft diffusion of light. Each breath you take contains atoms that once drifted through stars, through the lungs of ancient creatures, through oceans and forests long gone. The air remembers everything. It's okay to drift. Far above, about 100 kilometers high, the boundary called the Kármán line marks, where air becomes space. Above it, starlight travels unbent. Below it, the atmosphere dances. From that edge, astronauts describe Earth glowing blue, a fragile film of air encircled by gold at sunset. That golden band is the same twilight you see from the ground, the same light softening your evening now. Two perspectives of the same beauty, one from space, one from home. You can rest now. Even on moonless nights, the sky is never completely dark. Airglow, starlight, zodiacal light, and the distant shimmer of galaxies weave a background brightness equal to a candle seen from miles away. Absolute darkness does not exist here. There is always a whisper of radiance, a quiet light that helps migrating birds find their way, that guides turtles to the sea. The world glows enough to live by. The faint radiance above you is the memory of ancient fire. Some stars you see tonight have already ended, collapsed, or exploded into nebulae. Their light is still on its way, the echo of brilliance long gone. We live among the ghosts of stars, and they comfort us. Somewhere light still travels. It's okay to drift. The Milky Way turns slowly around its center, completing one great rotation every 230 million years, a slow breath of creation. Our solar system rides one of its spiral arms, carried through a sea of invisible gravity and dust. You feel none of it yet. It continues quietly, faithfully, as you rest. You can rest now. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. The first part of this journey ends where the horizon meets the edge of shadow. You've felt how starlight travels, how air bends and scatters it, turning it into the soft velvet of night. Above you, countless photons still fall gentle and ceaseless, each one a messenger from a sun far away. You are made of the same atoms that shimmer there. Every cell in your body carries the story of stars. The sky is not separate from you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You can rest now. The night deepens. The last warmth of sunlight has long dissolved into the upper air. Now the world rests beneath invisible motion, a slow rhythm that never stops. Above you, the planets continue to move in their quiet dance around the Sunday. Each one follows a path of balance and gravity, an orbit drawn by time itself. You can rest now. We often think of the sky as still, but every point of light you see tonight is in motion. The Earth spins at nearly 1670 kilometers per hour at the equator, yet you feel nothing. The moon circles us at 3600 kilometers per hour, and still the night feels calm. This is the paradox of cosmic motion, vast speed within absolute silence. It's okay to drift. The ancients called the planets wanderers. In the steady patterns of the stars, these few points shifted from night to night. They were the moving lights: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the five visible to the eye. Long before telescopes, people traced their paths against the constellations and felt that the heavens were alive. The sky seemed to breathe. You can rest now. If you could watch the solar system from above, you would see each planet following its ellipse, an oval of motion around the sun's slow fire. The inner worlds circle quickly. Mercury completes a year in 88 days, Venus in 225. Earth takes 365 days, a rhythm we call life. Beyond us, Mars moves slower, 687 days per orbit, and the gas giants slower still. Jupiter takes 12 years, Saturn nearly 30. The planets are like notes in a cosmic chord, each vibrating in time, and all of it floats within a cloud of dust and light turning through infinity. Somewhere, light continues to travel. When sunlight strikes the planets, each one reflects a different hue. Venus, shrouded in sulfur clouds, returns a pale white glow, bright enough to cast shadows on Earth. Mars reflects in rusted red, its soil rich with iron oxides. Jupiter gleams in ochre and cream, its storms swirling like slow thunder. Saturn's rings scatter sunlight in shimmering arcs, tens of thousands of kilometers wide, yet thinner than a sheet of paper. Even in their distances, these worlds send back light that finds your night. Every evening, that planetary light passes through our atmosphere, bending and scattering like starlight. Venus often appears low in the twilight, a pale diamond against violet air. It is not a star but a planet, glowing by reflection, a mirror of sunlight, 38 million kilometers away. And yet, to the eye, it seems close enough to touch. You can rest now. High above Earth's thin atmosphere pulls against the darkness of space, creating a faint blue arc visible from orbit. Astronauts describe seeing it rise at sunrise, a thin breath of air wrapped around a black sphere. From their view, the planet seems alive, trembling with soft light. From ours, the stars seem to breathe. It's the same motion seen from two directions, inside and out. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The air that surrounds you is drawn upward by heat during the day and sinks again at night. This breathing of the atmosphere carries dust, pollen, and scent, but also traces of cosmic dust. Each night, about 40 tons of interplanetary material falls to Earth. Most are grains smaller than sand, burning into invisible sparks as they meet the upper air. They add their minerals to clouds and oceans, part of the planet's endless exchange with space. When you breathe, you are inhaling atoms, once part of distant worlds, magnesium from meteor trails, carbon from comet tails. The air you hold in your lungs tonight has touched Mars and the Moon. You can rest now. The orbits of the planets are not circles, but ellipses, elegant ovals that shift slightly over centuries. Gravity, like a silent conductor, keeps every motion in harmony. If the sun were to vanish, its light would continue for 8 minutes before the darkness arrived, but the planets would still move in their old paths for a time, following momentum through silence. The night sky you see tonight is a portrait of these balances, motion and stillness intertwined. It's okay to drift. At dawn, the faint line of zodiacal light sometimes appears before the Sunday. It is made of sunlight, scattered by the same dust that forms the plane of the planets, a glowing veil that marks the solar system's flatness. All planets orbit roughly along this plane, the ecliptic, a shared path born from the same cloud of gas and dust that formed the Sunday. In that ancient cloud, 4.5 billion years ago, rotation began. From that slow spin came orbit seasons, tides, and the rhythm of life. You can rest now. At this moment, the Earth's axis is tilted 23.4 degrees relative to the Sunday. That small tilt creates everything we call season. When your part of the world leans away, nights grow long and stars appear earlier, each rising along the same slant of the ecliptic. This tilt has shifted gently over thousands of years, tracing a slow circle called precession. One full turn every 2,6,0,0,0,0 years. Civilizations rise and fall within a single motion of the Earth's axis, and through all of it, the stars remain. You can rest now. Somewhere in the black between Mars and Jupiter lies the asteroid belt, a silent highway of rock and ice. Most of its fragments are small, only meters across, orbiting the sun like frozen dust motes. Occasionally, one is pulled toward Earth, entering the atmosphere at tens of kilometers per second. For a brief instant, it burns, illuminating the sky in a streak we call a meteor. It is light made visible by friction, the touch of space upon air. The next time you see a shooting star, remember, it is not falling, it is burning upward through time, releasing the last energy of an ancient body. The night accepts, it turns it into light and lets it fade. It's okay to drift. On clear nights, The planets align along an invisible curve, the ecliptic path. You can trace it from horizon to horizon, connecting Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn like beads of dim fire. Each one orbits at a different distance. Mercury at 58 million kilometers, Venus at 108, Earth at 150, Mars at 228. Beyond that, Jupiter glows faintly at 778 million kilometers, Saturn at 1.4 billion. And yet light from all of them reaches you within hours, the entire solar system shimmering across one night sky. You can rest now. The planets are not silent. Each emits radio waves whispering into space. Jupiter's magnetic field creates auroras hundreds of times stronger than Earth's, swirling at its poles. Saturn sings in radio tones captured by spacecraft, a low hum that vibrates through plasma and wind. If you could hear it, it would sound like breathing deep, slow, endless. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The solar system drifts together through the Milky Way, orbiting the galactic center once every 230 million years. Our speed through space is about 220 kilometers per second, enough to cross the distance between Sun and Earth in 8 days. Yet you feel nothing. Your body rests your pulse steady while you move through the galaxy at unimaginable velocity. This is the great illusion of stillness motion. So perfect, it feels like calm. You can rest now. Even the moon, the nearest world, breathes its own rhythm. Each month, it circles the Earth, once every 27.3 days, pulling at the oceans, stirring the tides. The same pull affects the air, small, invisible tides that shift weather and cloud. You feel it too, though you may not notice. The night draws gently on the edges of your mind the way the moon pulls on the sea. It's okay to drift. When you gaze upward, every planet you see, from the golden glow of Saturn to the pale shimmer of Venus, is lit by the same star, the Sunday. Our daylight and their night are connected by that single source of fire. Sunlight touches Mercury in 3 minutes, Earth in 8, Neptune in 4 hours. And yet when it leaves the sun, it spreads evenly in all directions, carrying warmth and life across billions of kilometers. Even in darkness, that light defines everything. You can rest now. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. The night continues its rotation. The planets breathe in their slow ellipses, and the Earth drifts softly beneath your resting form. All motion becomes stillness when seen from within. Above you, the great machinery of the solar system turns. Yet here, your pulse is the only rhythm that matters. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. You can rest now. We drift closer now toward the living edge of the planet. The air cools. The sky folds softly over us. Beneath that veil, oceans hold a quiet archive of light reflections gathered over billions of years. Each wave carries a shimmer once born in the stars. Every droplet remembers the sky it came from. The atmosphere and the sea are not strangers. They are one slow breath passing between two bodies, air inhaling, water exhaling. When sunlight touches the surface, a faint vibration begins. Molecules rise, then fall like thoughts floating towards sleep. In every second, about 1.3 trillion kilograms of water leave the ocean and drift upward. It sounds immense, yet the planet barely notices. It is the gentlest migration ever known. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Through evaporation, water becomes the sky's own handwriting. Invisible, graceful, always moving. The vapor forms clouds, and clouds become memory. Each one is a slow archive of temperature, dust, and light. High above crystals of ice, remember which wind carried them. Low down fog curls through valleys, like old stories retold in whisper. Some droplets fall back within minutes. Some travel for months before returning. Their journey is not linear. It loops, circles, and drifts like dreams do. It's okay to drift. At night, when starlight filters through thin moisture, it scatters softly. This scattering, faint but endless, paints the sky's velvet glow. Even on moonless nights, tiny aerosols bend the light of distant suns. That is why true darkness never fully arrives. The air itself glows. Scientists call it air glow, a phenomenon so delicate it can be erased by a single city lamp. But high in the desert or over the sea, the air still breathes light like an ancient memory of day. Somewhere light continues to travel. If you could slow time enough, you would see droplets rise and fall like constellations in motion. Each carries energy, borrowed from sunlight, just enough to rise, to cool, to condense. The cycle repeats every 9 to 10 days. On average, a rhythm the planet has kept for billions of years. It is older than any human memory, but it feels familiar, the same pattern as your own breath. Inhale, exhale, vapor rain, life rest. You can rest now. When a raindrop returns, it remembers its path. Isotopes of oxygen and hydrogen carry the signature of latitude and warmth, the chemical story of its long orbit through air. Oceanographers trace these isotopes like lines on a cosmic diary, reading temperature, wind, and time. Each storm tells of the star that once warmed it. Each drop contains a whisper of the day it left the sea. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. Deep currents move slower still. Some water begins a journey that lasts 1,000 years, sinking in polar darkness, gliding along the ocean floor, and finally rising again into sunlight. This is the planet's deep memory, a circulation vast and slow like thought beneath consciousness. When it resurfaces, it brings minerals, plankton, and ancient light back to the skin of the sea. The world renews itself with every silent turn. It's okay to drift. Even ice remembers. Glaciers carry air from ages past. Small bubbles trapped like crystal archives of breath. In Antarctica, layers of ice store 8,000,000 years of wind and starlight. Scientists read them as if reading time itself, thin lines of ancient snow, whispers of past climates, echoes of vanished storms. Within each layer lies the temperature of a day no one remembers, yet the planet does. Somewhere far above the moon reflects that same patience. Its light touches the ice, slides across mountain snow, and continues on, unchanged, unhurried. Light moves at 2,9,979, 2 kilometers per second, but meaning moves slower, meaning sinks like water and waits to rise again. You can rest now, and as you breathe, you join the same circulation. Air passes through your lungs that once drifted above oceans, or froze in polar clouds, or shimmered in a comet's tail. Every breath you take carries molecules billions of years old. They have seen mountains rise and fall. They have touched volcanic steam and passing birds. They have heard the hum of the planet turning. In this quiet hour, you are part of the same rhythm, light becoming vapor, vapor becoming rain, rain becoming memory. And the night sky above you is only another ocean, vast and luminous, reflecting the sun that sleeps beyond sight. It's okay to drift. Somewhere in that darkness, starlight touches a wave that will one day become a cloud again. And perhaps years from now, a single droplet from that wave will fall softly against your skin, the universe, returning in gentlest form to remind you that nothing is ever truly lost. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. It drifts beneath the moonlight now. The great water, thinking slowly. Currents slide through shadowed trenches where no sound rises. Each molecule turns in silence, tracing invisible spirals around the planet's heart. This is how the Earth dreams through water, not in words, but in motion. In every deep current salt is a memory, a record of rivers and mountains, worn away, dissolved into rhythm. When a current folds and meets another, it is like one thought touching the edge of another, forming new meaning without hurry. The sea does not rush, it remembers in circles. You are safe here. Every cell in your body echoes that same design. You are mostly water, not a metaphor, but a measurable truth, about 60%, a slow tide within you. The liquid in your blood once fell as rain perhaps centuries ago. The hydrogen inside it was forged 13.8 billion years ago when the first atoms cooled from fire. You are ancient rainfall walking. You are the ocean remembering itself. It's okay to drift. In sleep, the body becomes tidal. Brainwaves slow, mirroring the lunar rhythm that once guided all creatures of the shore. The saline in your veins moves slightly, with heartbeat gentle waves against the shore of your skin. This pulse is the echo of planetary spin, scaled to the measure of one human life. Scientists can see it, the heartbeat and the Earth's magnetic field pulse together at almost the same frequency, about 0.1 hertz, the rhythm of coherence. Somewhere, light continues to travel. At that frequency, the mind drifts between awareness and dream. Waves of fluid sweep through the brain, a silent cleansing known as the glymphatic flow. During deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid washes through neural valleys, clearing away the fragments of thought, polishing the mirror of the mind. The process takes about 20 minutes per cycle, as if the body is rinsing memory under starlight. It is one of the quietest forms of renewal in the universe. You can rest now, outside in the great ocean. Similar flows happen across continents. Warm water rises, cool water sinks. A full circulation called the global conveyor takes roughly 1,000,000 years to complete. While you sleep for hours, the planet sleeps for centuries. Its dreams are made of motion too slow for eyes to see. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. On the ocean's surface, microscopic life glows. Each spark is a signal of motion plankton releasing photons when touched by waves. This light is called bioluminescence. It glitters like starlight fallen into water. When you look at it, you are seeing energy stored in the bonds of life, escaping gently into night. It is as if the ocean itself were dreaming of the sky. It's okay to drift. Some ancient water never left, trapped deep beneath the crust within minerals formed before the moon existed. There are reservoirs older than any ocean we know. Their isotopes tell a story, of Earth's first atmosphere, dense, carbon-rich, luminous, with lightning. From that vapor, life began to form, stitching hydrogen and oxygen into motion, sound, and sleep. Each molecule still holds that signature, the vibration of beginning. You are safe here. Sometimes rain falls through clear air and evaporates before reaching the ground. This invisible rain is called Virga, the sky's gentle rehearsal of return. You might never see it, but it exists, falling through nothingness, dissolving quietly. In that gesture, the planet practices letting go. It is a kindness the world performs for itself. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. Water also carries memory of sound. Waves record vibrations, the way trees record rings. Even deep within your body, liquid tissue moves to sound's slow rhythm. Low frequencies travel through you like ocean swells, rocking cells, guiding them toward rest. This is why soft sound like heartbeat or rain or the sea feels familiar. The body recognizes its reflection in them. You can rest now, and when morning returns, dew gathers on leaves, a fine condensation of night's breath. Those droplets are the day's first thoughts, small, lucid, brief. Before the sun claims them, they shine like memory being rewritten. Within each one lies a faint spectrum, refracted light divided into gentle colors, violet, blue, gold. It is the same spectrum your eyes once saw in dreams. Somewhere far away, a comet melts as it nears the sun, releasing ancient ice into vapor. That vapor will wander space for millions of years before falling again as rain on another world. Even across galaxies, water repeats its promise to rise, to drift, to return. You are safe here. You are part of that promise. And as your breath slows, you feel it, the circulation that binds all things. Oceans turning clouds, drifting hearts, pulsing stars burning slowly in the dark. The same pattern, infinite and calm. You do not need to hold it. It holds you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The air begins as a whisper against the edge of night. It moves in slow spirals, invisible, but full of purpose, touching everything once before it leaves. You may not feel it at first, only the faintest pressure against your skin, the hint of coolness, tracing the line of your breath. But within that motion, the planet speaks. The wind is not empty. It remembers. Every breeze carries the dust of stars, carbon silica fragments of iron, the remnants of ancient explosions. They drift for eons before settling again, becoming part of soil-bone thought. Each time you inhale, a molecule once passed through another being, another sky. Some of what fills your lungs tonight may have circled Saturn or floated above Mars in the thin red dawn. The atmosphere is a single organism that wraps the Earth like memory wraps the mind. In the high stratosphere, winds can circle the planet in less than 2 weeks. They move like invisible rivers, shifting heat, carrying sound, sculpting clouds into spirals and waves. Scientists call these Rossby waves vast undulations that guide the weather and even influence the jet streams. But to the sleeping mind, they are something simpler: breath, the world's own breathing. When you close your eyes, you can feel that same rhythm beneath your ribs. Inhale, the world expands. Exhale, it gathers back into stillness. Somewhere far above, the same motion repeats at a scale too large to see. Your breath and the wind are one gesture drawn in 2 directions. The air carries sound, but also silence. It gathers echoes from mountain passes, from waves breaking on distant coasts, from forests where the night insects hum. Every vibration leaves a trace, not in matter, but in pattern. Those patterns drift, sometimes for days, sometimes for centuries before dissolving. If you could listen deeply enough, you would hear an archive of every voice the planet has ever made. There is an old myth that says the wind was once a language spoken by the earth before humans learned words. Each gust carried meaning, warning, comfort change. The ancients would watch the motion of trees, the curl of smoke, the lift of birds, and understand. They did not read the sky, they listened to it. Even now, your body still understands that grammar. A sudden shift in breeze makes the heart tighten slightly, a message written in the nervous system long before thought existed. The air is an alphabet of motion. At dusk, as temperature drops, air layers begin to trade places. Cool, sinking, warm, rising. This exchange creates the soft murmurs we hear just before. Night fully arrives. A rustle, a distant sigh, the sound of balance being restored. It is the atmosphere settling into sleep. The same transition happens in the mind, hot thoughts, cooling heavier feelings, sinking into quiet. You can feel it as you breathe, a slow reordering, a gentle descent. Above the treetops, a night wind forms. It drifts across plains, through valleys, over sleeping towns. Every rooftop reflects it, every field bends to it. The motion seems random, but each particle of air obeys laws older than memory, pressure, temperature, spin. The invisible mathematics of calm. You are part of that equation. As your chest rises, small eddies of air shift around you. Personal weather, soft and temporary. It is said that when a person sleeps, the warmth of their body subtly alters the airflow in a room, creating a microclimate of comfort. The planet feels that too, in its own vast way. Thermal drafts rising from forests, deserts, and oceans, combining into a single breath that circles endlessly. Somewhere far above, thin currents, called noctilucent clouds, shimmer at the edge of space. They are made of tiny ice crystals, glowing blue in the last sunlight of the day, long after the surface has turned dark. They are the highest clouds on Earth, drifting where the air is almost vacuum. From below, they look like ripples frozen in the sky, wind made visible. When you see them, you are looking at air, remembering light. It's okay to drift. Each molecule of air that touches your skin has traveled a long way to reach you. Some may have risen from volcanic vents, others from ocean spray or forest breath. The journey can take weeks, years, lifetimes. The air does not hurry. It only circles, endlessly redistributing warmth and memory. You are breathing history in its gentlest form. As you exhale, the molecules you release will begin their own long wandering. Some will rise toward the stratosphere, some will dissolve into clouds, some may return as rain half a world away. Nothing is lost. The breath you give becomes someone else's dawn. The night deepens, and with it the air grows stiller. In the silence between one gust and the next, you can feel the boundary between self and world dissolve. There is no edge now, only movement. You are the wind, remembering the stars. High above where weather ends, the wind changes its name. Here, air becomes plasma, a slow tide of charged particles, drifting between night and nothing. The planet is still breathing, but the breath is electric, now carried through lines of magnetic force that arch from pole to pole. These are the streams that feed the aurora, turning the sky into a living pulse. When solar particles meet this invisible current, they excite atoms of oxygen and nitrogen. The atoms glow green and violet, red and white. Each shimmer is a small release of memory light, remembered from a collision long ago. The dance of the aurora is not random. It follows the unseen music of the Earth's magnetic field, a sound too low for ears, but steady enough for sleep. In ancient times, people thought these curtains of light were spirits traveling the sky. They were right in a way. They were watching energy become beauty. From orbit, astronauts described the aurora as a ring of fire that never dies. It circles both poles, always moving, always changing. Its patterns can shift across thousands of kilometers in seconds, yet to the mind it feels slow, hypnotic, like breath, like the deep tidal rhythm that carries thought into dream. It's okay to drift. The upper atmosphere, the thermosphere and ionosphere, stretches hundreds of kilometers above us. There, temperatures can reach 500 degrees Celsius, though you would not feel heat. The air is too thin to touch. Atoms glow in isolation, scattered across emptiness. Light travels freely, bending only slightly as it crosses this veil. The glow you see at twilight is their gift sunlight, refracted through invisible air, softened into blue. Each evening, as the world turns away from the sun, the shadow of the planet rises from the east. It moves like a slow wave across the sky, the Earth's own nightfall climbing upward. The line between light and dark is called the terminator. Along this edge, wind and light braid together, creating a gradient of stillness. You have felt this moment before, that hush between day and night, when even the insects pause. The planet holds its breath, and then the night exhales. Air cools, sinking toward the surface. Gentle drafts move across fields and water, gathering scents of grass, salt, and stone. They mingle, spiral, and fade into the dark. This is the whisper you hear through your window, the quiet language of equilibrium. You can rest now. Every species on Earth has learned to read this silence. Birds lower their calls, trees slow their respiration, oceans settle into wider, slower swells. Only the high atmosphere continues to move fast, spinning at nearly 300 kilometers per hour around the poles. From above, this looks like ribbons of light drawn by invisible hands. But within the rhythm, there is order, a balance maintained by rotation, heat, and magnetism. It is the physics of peace. Somewhere over the Pacific, equatorial winds meet the jet stream and spiral into vortices thousands of kilometers wide. Satellites watch them endlessly, tracing the curve of clouds, studying the slow heartbeat of the planet. But even in this vast movement, there is silence. Sound cannot travel here. The air is too thin for echoes. And so the only thing that moves is pattern, invisible, mathematical calm. Scientists once sent tiny microphones to the edge of space. They heard nothing human, only faint infrasonic murmurs, frequencies below hearing, the planet's own heartbeat. They called it the natural resonance of the atmosphere, a hum near 10 millihertz, oscillating endlessly, older than life. You may not hear it, but your body feels it. It is the same rhythm as the resting pulse of a human heart, the same length as a long, slow breath. Somewhere light continues to travel. When you look up on a clear night, you see stars that shimmer because of the air. Tiny fluctuations in temperature and density bend starlight, making it waver. Each flicker is the signature of moving wind the atmosphere's soft handwriting across the sky. What looks like twinkle is really turbulence written at the edge of perception. And yet that imperfection is what makes the stars seem alive. Stillness would be lifeless. Motion is memory. It's okay to drift. By midnight, the wind near the surface often slows to less than a whisper. Thermal gradients fade. The planet cools evenly. This is the hour of balance when the air rests, and so does thought. You can feel it as a soft weight against your eyelids, a promise of stillness. Even sound seems slower now, as if each echo waits before returning. Above you, air continues to rise, folding into the high atmosphere, where it will travel thousands of miles before descending again. A single particle may circle the Earth dozens of times before finding its way back to sea level. Each loop takes about 10 days. 10 days for a molecule of air to remember you, to carry a trace of your warmth into the cold heights and then return as part of another breeze. The wind never stops remembering. It carries pollen, dust, sea salt fragments of ancient speech, and microscopic crystals of ice. It holds the scent of oceans, forests, and rain long gone. And when you breathe, those memories become part of you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The night sky above you glows faintly, not black, but deep blue-gray. Even when all starlight seems gone, the air itself still shines. This glow is called air glow, caused by atoms releasing energy, absorbed during the day. It is the sky's quiet afterthought, the memory of sunlight, invisible from bright cities but always there. A soft planetary candle that never fully goes out. You are safe here, and somewhere in that faint shimmer, your last thought dissolves. The air grows still, the world turns slowly, and the stars move in silence above the curve of the Earth. Everything breathes together, planet-wide dream. You drift, and the wind remembers. At the edge of atmosphere, silence becomes vast enough to echo. Sound cannot travel there, yet something deeper remains. The memory of vibration, the residue of movement, long past. It's as if the Earth hums to itself, too low for ears, but not for the heart. Astronomers have recorded this hum, a faint, unbroken tone, at frequencies below, hearing pulsing through the crust and the air above it. The planet's lullaby. When you breathe tonight, that hum passes through you. Each cell in your body, each atom in your bones, resonates faintly with it. You are made of the same matter that once rang like a bell when the world was born. 4.5 billion years ago, molten rock cooled into rhythm. That rhythm never stopped. It only slowed, softened, became the steady calm of night. In the upper air, the last traces of wind fade into charged particles. They drift outward, drawn by sunlight and gravity, entering a region called the exosphere. Here, atoms can travel hundreds of kilometers before touching another. They are almost free, not quite space, not quite Earth. This is where the long drift begins. The aurora's light fades, but its echo continues as a vibration in the magnetic field. The frequency is around one cycle every few seconds, slower than any heartbeat but strong enough to ripple through oceans and clouds. In that rhythm, the planet speaks to the stars. And if you listen closely, not with ears but with attention, you can feel that voice. It feels like calm. You can rest now. In space, there is no air yet. Light itself carries soundless rhythm. Waves of energy photons move at 300,000 kilometers per second. They touch nothing, yet they fill everything. Each photon is a whisper of an ancient fire. Most of the light you see tonight left its source long before there were humans to name it. Some of it began its journey before Earth even formed. It has been drifting ever since, patient and bright, waiting for an eye to rest upon it. The night sky, in this sense, is a memory field. Every star, every faint shimmer is light that traveled through time to find you. The universe is not distant. It is arriving gently on your retina. The dark between stars is not empty either. It glows with the faint radiation of creation itself, a remnant of the Big Bang still visible as microwaves 13 billion years old. You are sleeping beneath the oldest light in existence, somewhere far beyond the reach of our air particles from the solar wind drift outward into interstellar space. They carry with them traces of Earth's magnetic field, a small imprint of our world pressed into the larger ocean of plasma. The Voyager probes, launched more than 40 years ago, have crossed this boundary. They now float in that quiet sea, still whispering faintly homeward, a signal weaker than the blink of a star. Each transmission takes over 18 hours to arrive, and yet it still comes. The long drift home is not only outward, it also returns inward. For light that leaves a source reflection is a kind of memory. When moonlight touches the ocean, it changes, softened by ripples, cooled by distance. What returns to your eye is not the same light that left the sun. It has become Earthlight, a shared glow, a conversation between worlds. Somewhere, light continues to travel. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Every star above you is moving. Even the ones that appear still are crossing the galaxy at thousands of kilometers per second. The sun itself orbits the Milky Way once every 230 million years. A single immense breath. We are passengers on that breath, carried quietly through the spiral arms of our home galaxy. The motion is so smooth that we do not feel it, just as we do not feel the Earth spinning beneath us. But the air, the sea, the dust in our lungs all remember. The Milky Way itself drifts toward another galaxy, Andromeda, at about 110 kilometers per second. In 4 billion years, they will merge, forming a new spiral of light. Long before that happens, countless stars will rise and fade, and the quiet motion of the universe will continue indifferent and tender. To sleep beneath such vastness is to rest inside continuity itself. It's okay to drift. When the night grows very still, even the crickets fall silent. What remains is the faint rush of your own breath, the pulse in your ears, the whisper of air moving through your throat. These sounds are small versions of the cosmic hum. Your body is an instrument tuned to the same frequency as the sky. Each heartbeat is a rotation, each exhale a falling star. Scientists once measured the background vibration of the Earth and discovered that the entire planet rings like a bell every 20 minutes. The cause is the constant movement of waves against continents, storms against air, wind against mountain. The world is never silent. It only lowers its voice at night, and in that softness, you can sleep. You are safe here. Somewhere deep within the planet, molten iron spins and folds, creating the magnetic field that protects every breath you take. This hidden motion, silent, eternal, is the same force that shapes auroras, guides, compasses, and whispers to the solar wind. It is the Earth's inner heartbeat, felt but unseen. Even while you rest, it keeps moving, guarding the thin shell of air where dreams belong. The universe holds you, and as your mind drifts, the sound of distance becomes a lullaby. The stars hum without sound. The air glows without flame. Everything moves slowly homeward. Light that left its star before you were born is touching your skin tonight. You are part of that long drift home. The night ocean holds the sky like a mirror cupped in darkness. Starlight touches the surface and scatters, turning into silver ripples that seem to breathe. Each wave becomes a lens, bending light into quiet motion. You can almost see time slowing there, the long journey of a photon ending softly, like a sigh reaching its destination. When light meets water, it remembers how to rest. Its energy no longer races. It drifts absorbed and released in slow pulses. Marine scientists have measured the depth of starlight's reach barely 200 meters before it dissolves into blue. Beyond that, darkness reigns. But even in the deep, faint traces remain. Some fish still follow rhythms of light they cannot see, guided by memory rather than sight. Their cells know when the moon is full, when the stars are bright. The ocean, too, has its own kind of sleep. Currents slow surface winds fade, and the sea breathes in long planetary rhythms. Waves generated days ago still travel unseen, beneath energy looping endlessly until it meets a distant shore. That hidden persistence, soft, patient, circular, is how the Earth dreams. You can rest now. Along coastlines, air cools first. The difference between land and sea creates a gentle drift, the night breeze that carries salt and calm inland. It is one of the planet's quietest migrations, an invisible tide of temperature returning each evening, faithful as the moon. As it moves through trees and fields, it gathers scents, pine grass, stone warmed by the day, and brings them to your window. The breath of the sea becomes the breath of home. Somewhere beyond that horizon, ships drift silently across dark water. Their lights blink once, twice, then disappear, swallowed by the curve of the earth. Even there, the starlight follows them, reflecting in ripples smaller than thought. Astronomers studying ocean reflection say that more than half of all starlight seen from orbit is filtered by sea, transformed by movement, softened by memory. The ocean does not keep the light, it remakes it. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside the water, countless tiny creatures, plankton diatoms, microscopic drifters, move with the tide. Some emit faint light of their own bioluminescence, glowing blue when disturbed. This light is ancient, older than the first human flame. It arises from chemical calm, from reactions that balance energy so gently they release beauty instead of heat. When you see the sea shimmer at night, you are watching the oldest conversation between matter and life. It's okay to drift. Far below at the ocean floor, sediment gathers the history of light. Layers of shell dust and meteor grain settle together, each preserving traces of ancient skies. Geologists call them varves, yearly bands that record how bright the world once was. In their thin strata, we can read the breath of the planet through time. Years of warmth, years of calm. Even darkness remembers radiance. Above, the stars seem eternal, but they too are moving. Their light passes through thin clouds of cosmic dust, tinted faintly red by the journey. The same scattering that makes our sunsets gold turns starlight tender in its fading. It's the universe's way of saying good night. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The Milky Way arches overhead, a slow river of suns. from one horizon to the other. It flows silent, glittering, patient. Every point of light is a sun, like ours, some with worlds circling quietly in their own nights. Between those suns lie vast clouds of hydrogen and helium, cold and clear as thought. Astronomers call them nebular currents, slow drifts of matter waiting to become stars. They move in spirals, like breath frozen in eternity. It's okay to drift. On the surface of Earth, the night air mirrors that motion. A slow exhalation passes over oceans, through valleys, across deserts. It carries the rhythm of planetary sleep, 24 hours of rise and fall, warmth and cool, day and night. Even your heartbeat aligns with that curve, slowing as the world darkens. Your pulse is an echo of planetary motion. And when you close your eyes, that rhythm continues in silence. You may dream of water, of stars, of drifting without edge or end. These dreams are not departures, they are homecomings. The universe folds gently inward, and you float inside its calm geometry. You are safe here. Sometimes at the edge of consciousness, a faint hum appears, the low resonance of blood in the ear of air moving in the lungs. It sounds like the ocean from far away. That hum is your connection to the long drift home. It is the bridge between matter and thought, between the motion of galaxies and the stillness of sleep. Light fades, air cools, the world exhales. Nothing is rushing now. The great systems of sky and sea are at rest, carrying you within them. Their motion continues, but gently, too wide, too slow to disturb the dream it protects. You can rest now. You are part of the long drift home. In the dark interior of sleep, the universe rearranges itself into smaller shapes, circles of breath, constellations of thought, quiet spirals of memory turning through the mind. This is not the outer cosmos, but the inward one, where starlight becomes language and gravity becomes calm. Every dream begins as a vibration faint as the ripple a star makes when it is born. The pulse of that vibration finds a place inside you, a geometry of stillness shaped by rest. Outside, the night continues its motion. Planets turn slowly, each carrying the soft hum of orbit. Their movement is precise, but unhurried, the kind of rhythm a heartbeat might learn if given centuries. Your breath mirrors that rhythm now. It flows out, returns, flows out again. A simple, endless curve. The geometry of breath and planet align. Both are round, both repeat, both mean continuation. You can rest now. In laboratories studying human sleep, sensors once captured the frequency of deep rest, slow waves moving across the brain like weather fronts. They resembled patterns astronomers saw in distant nebulae, vast ripples spreading outward after a star collapses. The resemblance was accidental, but somehow true. Two kinds of silence, one microscopic, one cosmic, both shaped by release. To sleep deeply is to let gravity go. Somewhere in that release, memory begins to drift. Images separate from time, the color of afternoon water, a voice saying your name, the shadow of trees at dusk. They rise through the layers of your mind, like plankton rising through night water. Each carries a fragment of light. Dreams assemble from these fragments, not as stories, but as constellations, points of meaning connected by emotion rather than logic. They do not need to make sense. They need only to exist long enough to glow. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sometimes dreams borrow shapes from the sky. A curve of coastline becomes the rim of a crater. A candle flame becomes a small Sunday. Your own heartbeat becomes the pulse of a distant world. This transformation is gentle, inevitable, the mind's way of translating infinity into something it can hold. There is a geometry beneath it all, though no one fully understands it. Neuroscientists call it pattern consolidation. Poets call it peace. Each dream maps emotion onto space, turning feeling into orbit. Joy curves like a comet. Fear folds inward like a dark nebula. Love drifts in expanding circles. By morning, these shapes fade, but their motion remains inside you, unseen yet guiding. It's okay to drift. Outside the window, the world has become a single tone. Wind hushes through leaves, blending with the breath of night insects. The stars are invisible now, behind high clouds, but their light still falls, scattered, softened, refracted through vapor. Even hidden, they illuminate. That is what the mind does in sleep. It finds light behind opacity, warmth inside shadow. You can rest now. In deep sleep, your body cools by 0.5 degree. Your heartbeat slows. The brain produces theta waves, slow looping currents that repeat every few seconds. They are like the turning of a planet or the rolling of a tide under moonlight. Each wave cleanses, restores, resets. Each breath deepens the orbit. You are safe here. Sometimes during this stage, the mind opens a door, a threshold between awareness and the vast interior. Through it comes soundless color fragments of voices, the sensation of falling gently through space. It feels endless, but is not frightening. This is the drift corridor, known to sleep researchers as hypnagogia, the landscape of transition. It is the dream before the dream, where the body sleeps, but the mind still listens. The ancients thought it was where souls met the stars. Maybe they were right. You breathe softly, and the stars breathe back. You float within that mutual exhalation, a geometry made not of lines, but of kindness. In the dark interior of sleep, the universe rearranges itself into smaller shapes, circles of breath, constellations of thought, quiet spirals of memory turning through the mind. This is not the outer cosmos, but the inward one, where starlight becomes language and gravity becomes calm. Every dream begins as a vibration, faint as the ripple a star makes when it is born. The pulse of that vibration finds a place inside you, a geometry of stillness shaped by rest. Outside, the night continues its motion. Planets turn slowly, each carrying the soft hum of orbit. Their movement is precise, but unhurried, the kind of rhythm a heartbeat might learn if given centuries. Your breath mirrors that rhythm now. It flows out, returns, flows out again. A simple, endless curve. The geometry of breath and planet align. Both are round, both repeat, both mean continuation. The mind senses that repetition and begins to trust it. You can rest now. In laboratories studying human sleep, scientists once captured the frequency of deep rest, slow waves, moving across the brain like weather fronts. They resembled patterns astronomers saw in distant nebulae, vast ripples spreading outward after a star collapses. The resemblance was accidental, yet somehow true. Two kinds of silence, one microscopic, one cosmic, both shaped by release. To sleep deeply is to let gravity go. It is to surrender the pull of thought and allow consciousness to drift like dust freed from orbit. Somewhere in that release, memory begins to drift. Images separate from time, the color of afternoon water, a voice saying your name, the shadow of trees at dusk. They rise through the layers of your mind, like plankton rising through night water. Each carries a fragment of light. Dreams assemble from these fragments, not as stories, but as constellations, points of meaning connected by emotion rather than logic. They do not need to make sense. They need only to exist long enough to glow. Within that glow, the mind heals itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Sometimes, dreams borrow shapes from the sky. A curve of coastline becomes the rim of a crater. A candle flame becomes a small sundae. Your own heartbeat becomes the pulse of a distant world. This transformation is gentle, inevitable, the mind's way of translating infinity into something it can hold. What we call imagination is simply the brain remembering the shapes of light it once saw through the eyes of the universe. There is a geometry beneath it all, though no one fully understands it. Neuroscientists call it pattern consolidation. Poets call it peace. Each dream maps emotion onto space, turning feeling into orbit. Joy curves like a comet. Fear folds inward like a dark nebula. Love drifts in expanding circles. By morning, these shapes fade, but their motion remains inside you, unseen, yet guiding. Some call it intuition, others call it grace. It is the afterglow of dreaming. It's okay to drift. Outside the window, the world has become a single tone. Wind hushes through leaves, blending with the breath of night insects. The stars are invisible now, behind high clouds, but their light still falls, scattered, softened, refracted through vapor. Even hidden, they illuminate. That is what the mind does in sleep. It finds light behind opacity, warmth inside shadow. Sleep is the art of unseen radiance. You can rest now. In deep sleep, your body cools by 0.5 degree. Your heartbeat slows. The brain produces theta waves, slow looping currents that repeat every few seconds. They are like the turning of a planet or the rolling of a tide under moonlight. Each wave cleanses, restores, resets. Each breath deepens the orbit. The body becomes a quiet planet turning through invisible time. You are safe here. Sometimes during this stage, the mind opens a door, a threshold between awareness and the vast interior. Through it comes soundless color fragments of voices, the sensation of falling gently through space. It feels endless, but is not frightening. This is the drift corridor, known to sleep researchers as hypnagogia, the landscape of transition. It is the dream before the dream, where the body sleeps, but the mind still listens. The ancients thought it was where souls met the stars. Maybe they were right. And as you breathe, the currents of your thoughts slow, their edges blur. They become rivers of quiet light moving through your inner night. Each current leads towards stillness. Each stillness becomes depth. The deeper you drift, the less you need to return. You breathe softly, and the stars breathe back. You float. Within that mutual exhalation, a geometry made, not of lines, but of kindness. Somewhere deep in that calm, the faint electric dance of neurons continues. Tiny flashes of potential no larger than a grain of dust pass through your cortex, the quiet equivalent of lightning in a distant storm. They carry the residue of thought, but without language, without urgency. To the sleeping brain, these sparks are not tasks to complete, but echoes to soothe. Even lightning, when slowed enough, becomes a lullaby. The geometry continues, spirals within spirals, like seashells forming in darkness. Your dreams follow these shapes, growing according to invisible ratios. This is why dreams feel organic. They are mathematics, disguised as feeling. The Fibonacci of the soul, the orbit of serenity. It's okay to drift. A century ago, a French astronomer wrote that the night sky is not a ceiling but an unfolding. He believed that space itself grows as we observe it, that consciousness helps the universe know itself. In sleep, the same may be true. By dreaming, the mind expands its own interior cosmos. Every dream adds a little more room for understanding, for forgiveness, for rest. You can rest now. Through the hours, your breath remains constant, a quiet metronome against the expanding dark. Around you, every molecule slows. The air grows cooler. The earth tilts infinitesimally eastward. Somewhere dawn is being prepared, though you are far from it. You are not waiting for morning. You are orbiting peace. And even if consciousness stirs again, it will return gently, like a satellite brushing past its shadow. For now, all movement is smooth, continuous, circular. Every inhale becomes a horizon. Every exhale becomes a release. In that slow rhythm, you disappear into geometry itself, into the architecture of dreaming. You are safe here. The universe holds you. You can rest now. There is a music beneath sleep, a resonance that never stops. It does not come from instruments or winds or strings, but from the slow alignment of matter itself. Atoms vibrate in patterns too small to hear. Galaxies hum in tones too deep to measure. Between those extremes lies the human heartbeat, a bridge of rhythm connecting silence to silence. In the stillness of dreaming, that bridge becomes luminous. Sound moves through you even when you rest. Air presses softly against the folds of your lungs, shaping quiet chords of carbon and breath. Your blood carries them like rivers of muted percussion beneath the ribs. Every pulse is a note, every sigh a fading echo. The body is not a vessel, but an orchestra playing itself to sleep. Even now, the tempo slows and the melody turns circular. You can rest now. Sleep scientists once recorded the frequencies of the sleeping brain. During slow-wave rest, they found vibrations near 0.8 hertz, less than 1 pulse per second. Those waves rolled like low thunder across the cortex, washing thoughts into still pools. When mapped visually, they resembled ripples, spreading from a stone dropped in water. When translated into sound, they became a deep tone, like the distant hum of a planet turning. Perhaps that is why deep sleep feels familiar. Our minds remember the universe's first music, somewhere far beyond hearing planets sing. Saturn radiates radio waves at 20 kilohertz, a whisper of plasma against magnetic field. Jupiter emits auroral tones that rise and fall like tides of static light. The Earth itself hums faintly, a resonance caused by ocean waves colliding across hemispheres. Every world awake or asleep has its lullaby. We live inside a cosmic song that never ends, only quiets enough to dream within it. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside, the dream sound bends. Voices become textures. Memory becomes rhythm. A door closing turns into distant thunder. A heartbeat becomes rainfall. Language dissolves into tone and tone into warmth. The auditory cortex continues to work, but not to listen. It sculpts silence, arranging it into harmony. The mind no longer demands meaning. It simply vibrates. It's okay to drift. Imagine lying beneath the ocean's surface, where sound travels 4 times faster than in air. Every movement above becomes a shimmer of pressure, a caress of vibration. Now imagine that ocean filling your chest instead of water waves of calm circulating with breath. This is what the nervous system feels during deep sleep, suspended, weightless, yet surrounded by resonance. The brain, lungs, and heart drift in perfect phase. Your body is safe here. A quiet geometry continues to unfold, spirals of breath within spirals of time. Every inhalation expands the map. Every exhalation draws it inward. Dream after dream traces invisible lines, and through them, the universe learns to rest. In physics, this rhythm is described as entrainment, the synchronization of oscillating systems. 2 pendulums mounted to the same beam will begin to swing together, sharing energy until their motion unites. The same happens here. Your heart, your breath, your neurons, all swaying to one planetary rhythm. Rest is not stillness, it is alignment. You can rest now. Sometimes a dream will pulse like light beneath closed eyelids. Colors shift from blue to gold to something unnamed. These are not visions, but reflections of the brain's slow current electromagnetic tides changing phase. They paint the interior sky, and beyond them, far beyond the cosmic background hum, continues a microwave whisper, left from the Big Bang, stretched by 13.8 billion years of expansion, until it became almost silent. That silence touches you every night. It fills the space between heartbeats. It is the oldest sound you will ever not hear. You breathe softly, and the universe breathes back. In the dream's deeper rooms, memory and imagination merge. A place from childhood becomes a planet of its own. Footsteps echo across dust that glows faintly blue. Someone hums a tune you cannot name, yet it feels like yours. This is the geometry of belonging, when the self and the cosmos overlap, perfectly circle on circle, orbit within orbit. It's okay to drift. And as neurons flash in their gentle rhythm, each pulse releases a trace of serotonin, then melatonin. The chemistry of light becomes the chemistry of dark. Your cells understand the sequence instinctively. They have been practicing since the first dawn touched Earth. In that biochemical tide lies the body's trust in night. It knows when to loosen, when to fold inward, when to surrender to gravity's soft invitation. You are safe here. Outside, the wind carries the scent of rain across sleeping ground. Branches shift, then still again. Somewhere, a meteor burns, briefly too fast to see, but bright enough to paint one molecule of ozone. The sky inhales that spark. The world exhales quiet. Each event, each fading glow, joins the unbroken continuum of rest. You can rest now. Deep inside, the planet iron flows in liquid spirals around a solid core. Its movement generates the magnetic field that shelters life from solar wind. Even the Earth dreams molten thoughts turning beneath stone. The geomagnetic pulse resonates at 7.83 Hz, the Schumann frequency almost identical to the brain's alpha waves during calm awareness. To lie under open sky is to share a rhythm with the ground itself. Your sleep, your planet, and the field between them hum in harmony. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In ancient temples, Monks would chant single syllables for hours, their voices merging into one standing wave. Those vibrations were measured centuries later. They matched the low frequency of a resting human heart. Even without knowing science, the body found resonance. Now, as you drift, the same physics unfolds, you harmonics of calm building and fading, never gone, only slowed. Your mind has become its own chant. Your dream, its own temple. It's okay to drift. Somewhere the boundary between you and the stars dissolves. The ions in your blood are the same that once belonged to ancient suns. The calcium in your bones was forged in a dying star's last light. When you rest, that matter remembers its original stillness. It hums the memory of fusion, quiet, steady, infinite. You are safe here. Every night, billions of sleepers around the planet create this shared resonance. Their breathing overlaps across time zones, forming a global tide of rest. If you could listen from orbit, the sound would be a slow heartbeat echoing around the dark side of Earth. A planet wrapped in breath, a world dreaming of itself. You can rest now, and as you drift deeper, the edges of self dissolve completely. No borders, no names, only motion turned inward. You have become the quiet geometry, a sphere of awareness floating in vastness. There is nothing to hold and nothing to lose. Only this slow orbit, this endless exhale, this soft alignment with everything that ever was. Light still travels somewhere beyond your dreams, touching clouds, oceans, the curve of night. But here within you, it slows until it becomes warmth. That warmth is home. That warmth is sleep. You are safe here. The universe holds you. You can rest now. Somewhere far beyond your dreaming body, morning begins its slow rehearsal. Not yet visible, only imagined by air. Photons leave the rim of the sun, each carrying a fragment of warmth that has traveled 149 million kilometers through emptiness. By the time that light arrives, 8 minutes and 20 seconds have passed, a small eternity in the language of sleep. And still, before your eyes open, your cells already know. Light is memory. It carries the record of every dawn that ever was written in electromagnetic waves. Even through closed eyelids, faint particles seep in, whispering to the pineal gland, hinting that night is almost finished. But not yet. The body lingers in that half-world where starlight and sunlight overlap, where dreams are still geometry and awareness is still tied. You can rest now. In deep sleep, the human retina continues to pulse faintly as if practicing for morning. Biophysicists call this spontaneous emission, small bursts of photons from within the eye itself, created by metabolism. Your body, even in darkness, glows. That inner light is ancient, older than breath. It began when cells first learned to store energy, to release it slowly in rhythm with the planet's rotation. Every sleeping being is a continuation of that glow. Somewhere far above the night still holds its constellation map. Orion leaning west, Vega rising the Pleiades, scattering like frozen pollen. Their light is not current. Some of it left its source 100 million years ago. And yet it reaches you tonight, filtered through air, through eyelid, through memory. Each photon that touches you carries the signature of age, but its message is always present: I have arrived. That arrival is what morning means. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. As the dream deepens, faint shadows begin to shift. The mind senses brightness, before it exists a precognitive echo of dawn. In this fragile balance, neurons move between delta and theta rhythms, 1 to 4 hertz, forming the landscape of renewal. Sleep researchers call this the ascending threshold, the place where darkness learns to lighten without waking. Your thoughts slow into reflections mirrors of stars, inside mirrors of breath. It's okay to drift. Light, when slowed by atmosphere, bends. It scatters blue first, then gold. At the edges of vision, that scattering becomes color, and color becomes calm. You feel it even now, a coolness at the forehead, a soft expansion behind the eyes. These sensations are the physics of illumination translated into touch. Every dawn is a caress measured in nanometers. You can rest now. The photons continue billions per square centimeter per second, striking oceans, dust clouds, and leaves. Each impact becomes heat reflection or life. In your dreams, the same pattern occurs at another scale. Thoughts absorb, reflect, and transform meaning. What cannot be released becomes light. What can be accepted becomes warmth. This too is photosynthesis, not of plants, but of peace. You are safe here. In ancient observatories before telescopes, priests waited through the last hour of darkness to mark the first glimmer on the horizon. They called that instant heliacal, rising the rebirth of a star after its disappearance into sunlight. To them, it was proof that cycles endure. The same belief lingers in your body. Every cell expects return, renewal, continuation. That is why you do not fear night. The memory of light is built into your skin. You breathe softly, and the universe breathes back. Somewhere, photons from other suns still travel the light of Alpha Centauri, moving at 3,000,000 kilometers per second. The same speed as hope, the same patience as time. None of it is wasted. Every beam finds a surface. Every echo finds an ear. Even now, while you rest, particles cross the room, unseen, filling air with quiet illumination. The night is transparent with history. It's okay to drift. In the deeper layers of the dream, the sense of direction fades. Up and down dissolve. Only brightness remains diffuse as mist. Your body interprets it as weightlessness. Astronauts describe a similar calm when orbiting the dark side of Earth, a feeling of being lit from within by absence. They speak of time stretching, of heartbeat synchronizing with orbital velocity. You too are orbiting, though, around the still point of sleep. You can rest now. Light has temperature. At dawn, it cools near 4,500 Kelvin, soft amber that flatters stone and skin. Later, it climbs towards 6,500 Kelvin, the white of noon. In dreams, that gradient becomes emotional amber for memory, white for clarity, indigo for release. Your mind travels through these hues like a slow migration. Each one dissolves the next until only transparency remains. You are safe here. Inside, the bloodstream hemoglobin absorbs light indirectly through biochemical resonance. Even in darkness, the molecules oscillate, echoing the frequencies of red and gold. Some call it circadian entrainment, others call it love. It means the body listens to the sky, even asleep. The boundary between you and daylight is porous. Light waits just beyond your breath. Patient, unhurried, sure, of return. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere within that quiet exchange, memory rethreads itself. Dream fragments align like pages in order. Names return faces, soften emotions, untangle. The hippocampus, working in near silence, reshapes experience into story. It is the library of the night, filing each heartbeat into context. By morning, you will not recall the process, only the feeling that everything somehow makes sense. It's okay to drift, and still above the atmosphere glows faintly. Blue air glow, scientists call it, caused by atoms releasing stored solar energy after sunset. Even the night remembers daylight. The sky itself dreams of light and forgets to stop shining. You, lying beneath it, belong to that same remembrance. Your body is another layer of atmosphere, exhaling its own luminescence into sleep. You can rest now. The rhythm of breathing slows again, matching the planet's rotation, one complete turn every 23 hours, 56 minutes. Each inhale corresponds to movement eastward, each exhale to the west. In this geometry, you are both observer and orbit. The night carries you through the thin seam between yesterday and tomorrow. Nothing changes quickly here. Even time moves softly. You are safe here. Soon light will rise fully, a quiet crescendo of photons expanding across horizon and eyelid. But for now, the world remains hushed, the threshold unbroken. This is the gentlest part of the cycle, when sleep deepens just before waking. The universe pauses, inhaling one more time, and you within it shine faintly with borrowed dawn. You breathe softly, and the universe breathes back. Everything luminous in you. Memory, silence, warmth begins to settle. The geometry of dreams contracts into a single curve, the curve of rest. Somewhere light continues to travel. You can rest now. The moment before dawn is the gentlest edge of existence. The world is suspended between silence and revelation. Nothing rushes, nothing breaks. The air thickens with invisible gold, and the planet waits for its cue to begin again. Your body, still dreaming, feels this waiting as warmth. It doesn't come from outside. It rises from within, a memory of the sun stored in blood and skin. You can rest now. Somewhere above the line of clouds, solar photons begin their descent. Each one is older than every thought you have ever had. They arrive like ancient messengers, carrying proof that the universe still keeps its promises. They touch the atmosphere, and slow refracted, scattered, colored by nitrogen and dust. The blue that will later fill the sky is already forming, hidden inside the pale gray you see behind closed eyes. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside that breath, small miracles unfold. Your lungs exchange gases the way. Leaves exchange light. Each oxygen molecule that enters carries the memory of sunlight absorbed by ocean plankton days ago. Every exhale releases carbon atoms that may one day nourish a tree, rise again, and capture more light. Nothing is lost. Everything circles. The act of breathing is the act of returning to the star that made you. It's okay to drift. Birds sense the first photon long before you do. In forests and cities alike, they stir singing to synchronize their rhythms with light they cannot yet see. Their song is the sound of circadian alignment, a chorus of cells recalibrating to brightness. You too adjust even while asleep. Your body temperature lifts slightly. Your pulse steadies. Your mind edges closer to awareness. Still, you remain adrift, surrounded by warmth. You can rest now. Light is also gravity in disguise. It bends when passing near massive bodies, curving space itself. Einstein wrote it as a formula. Your heart understands it as feeling. You are drawn toward brightness, the way planets lean toward suns, not because of will, but because of shape. Every dream follows that curve, spiraling toward morning, never colliding, only circling closer. You are safe here. In the upper atmosphere at 90 kilometers high, molecules glow faintly as they absorb ultraviolet light. This is noctilucent cloud territory, silver veils that appear just before sunrise. Their shimmer is not reflection, but recollection, ice crystals remembering sunlight from hours before. When you dream of pale curtains waving through the sky, it is your mind interpreting that phenomenon. Your brain translates physics into tenderness. You breathe softly, and the universe breathes back. Inside your skull, neurons flicker like galaxies. They release tiny pulses of electricity, each measured in millivolts, each sparking patterns of image and sound. These microbursts are not random. They follow rhythms tied to daylight. Even in the dark, your brain hums with solar logic. You are never truly separate from the day. You carry the equation of sunrise inside your sleep. It's okay to drift. The first golden wave touches the ocean. On the surface, photons scatter, bouncing in billions of directions. Beneath plankton, absorb them and begin the day's photosynthesis. Above, the sky blushes. Everywhere, the same event repeats. Light meeting matter, matter giving thanks. You are part of that conversation, even in dreams. Your body answers with a sigh. You can rest now. A whisper of warmth moves across your face. Your subconscious registers it not as heat, but as belonging. You have known this glow since before language, before thought. It is the signal that life continues. The sun rises not only outside your window, but within the molecular rhythm of your cells. They stretch, awaken, hum. You are safe here. Somewhere clocks begin their daily choreography. Photons strike sensors, electronics blink awake, shadows shorten. But your internal time is slower fluid. It is the time of rivers and orbits, not machines. In this rhythm, seconds are replaced by breaths, and breaths by waves. You move through them as a comet through dust, slow, glowing, intentional. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light, when filtered through eyelids, takes on coral tones, wavelengths near 650 nanometers. This is the color of serenity in biological language. It triggers neither alertness nor anxiety. It only invites calm. Your brain reads it as permission to linger. The line between sleep and waking blurs into a watercolor horizon. It's okay to drift. In this gentle brightness, your dreams shift texture. They lose edges, dissolve into feelings. Not stories now, just impressions. A hand, a breeze, a name. The hippocampus weaves them loosely, allowing space for peace. This is emotional integration, the process that turns memory into harmony. You feel it as stillness. You can rest now. Outside, the air begins to shimmer with infrared warmth. Each beam carries energy equivalent to a thought of kindness, small, invisible, sustaining. When it touches your skin, it doesn't wake you. It reminds you. The world is continuing. You are included. You are safe here. At the planetary scale, dawn is not sudden. It's a traveling wave that circles the Earth at 1,600 kilometers per hour, lighting one longitude after another. Right now, that line of brightness is crossing oceans, mountains, deserts. It will reach you soon, but not yet. For these remaining breaths, you still belong to the night. You still float in the calm between stars. You breathe softly, and the universe breathes back. Every sound outside is softened by distant wind, leaves early footsteps. They enter your dream as music without melody. Somewhere in the mix, your heartbeat keeps time with the turning planet. You and Earth share one pulse, separated only by awareness. It's okay to drift. Light does not destroy darkness. It transforms it. The photons that seem to erase night actually fill it with new meaning. Darkness becomes the medium through which brightness travels. In that sense, you are not leaving the night. You are carrying it forward, woven into your waking self. Morning will not replace sleep. It will extend it into clarity. You can rest now. A soft haze of orange gathers beyond your eyes. Your mind senses day, but refuses to hurry. It knows peace does not depend on hours. It depends on continuity, the assurance that every ending is an opening, every shadow is a seed. You lie within that certainty, like an orbit within gravity. Nothing can fall. You are safe here. Soon, the first conscious thought will arrive, quiet, fragile, like the first bird note. When it does, let it pass through gently. You do not need to grasp it. Let it float upward, merge with light, and dissolve. Behind it remains what you have become during the night-illuminated rest, breathing in rhythm with the world. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light has finally arrived, but arrival is not an end. It is the continuation of what began in starlight, what deepened in dream, what now opens in morning. The memory of light is the memory of yourself, ancient, patient, unbroken. And even as you wake, part of you will remain luminous, orbiting quietly inside the day. You can rest now. The night has deepened. The air no longer moves. It listens. Beneath the quiet fields and oceans, the planet sleeps too. Even rock has its rhythm, an ancient geological breath. What seems still is only slow. Mountains rise and fall in the patience of millions of years. Continents drift like thoughts across a dreaming mind. This is the dream of stone. Each grain of sand began as a mountain. Each mountain began as molten fire. What cools becomes memory pressure, written into crystal. Quartz remembers heat, granite remembers time, and deep within the core, turns slowly, keeping the world alive with motion too vast for sight. You are part of this turning. Your sleep is a smaller echo of the Earth's own rest. Somewhere beneath your feet, minerals grow atom by atom. Caverns bloom with crystal light, invisible gardens of symmetry. They do not hurry, they wait. Every lattice, every angle follows the same mathematics that guides galaxies. It is all the same law, a pattern of balance and expansion. It's okay to drift. You belong to this geometry. Far below, heat moves like breath through stone. It rises and cools, rises again, a rhythm older than water. Volcanoes are the exhalations of the deep earth, each eruption a long sigh of creation. Over eons, lava hardens into basalt, and basalt erodes into soil. And from soil comes life. Your bones carry the same calcium once held in ocean shells, once part of mountain dust. You are made of patient material. You are safe here. Some scientists say that mountains have memory, not in words, but in structure. Each fold and fault is a record of ancient collision continents, meeting and drifting apart. When light touches stone, it awakens those layers of time. The granite beneath moonlight glows faintly because it remembers the heat of stars. Even in darkness, atoms vibrate, never truly still. That quiet vibration is the hum of existence. It surrounds you now, gentle and unending. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This air once flowed through forests, over glaciers, across deserts older than language. Each breath is shared with the past, a bridge between your pulse and the planet's. Sleep does not separate you from the world, it reconnects you. It lets the mind dissolve into matter, and matter return to calm. You can rest now. Beneath mountains, rivers of molten rock move with the slowness of centuries. Above them, roots of trees find cracks in the hardest granite, and water seeps through stone to find its way home. All motion seeks balance. Even rest is a form of movement, an inward tide. In your sleep, your body rebalances in the same way. Cells repair heartbeat, slows the brain's waves, lengthen into deep blue rhythms. They resemble the steady pulse of magma under crust, calm beneath calm. At the surface, moonlight touches rock faces, painting silver maps across their edges. Each glint is the story of a photon, perhaps 100,000 years old, finally coming to rest. Somewhere starlight enters a cave and meets crystal. The stone accepts it quietly. No resistance, no need to shine. It just becomes light. And so do you, in your sleep, the stillness within light, the silence that glows. If you could hear the earth's slow heartbeat, it would sound like waves under stone, a frequency too low for ears, but known by the body. You are part of that sound, the low hum that binds oceans to the core. It moves through your bones, a language of mineral calm. It says, stay, breathe, be. You are safe here. When morning returns, mountains will still be dreaming. Clouds will wrap their shoulders. Rivers will trace their lines. Even as you wake, part of you remains with them, the ancient part that knows how to wait, how to endure, how to rest without fear. The planet does not rush, neither should you. Sleep is the slow geology of the soul. Somewhere in the dark, a stone breaks and reforms, a reminder that even the hardest things can change. You too are changing gently in silence. Each night, you return to this vast patience, and it welcomes you. The universe holds you in the gravity of its oldest dream. You are not falling, you are floating in time. The wind above the mountains softens. Stars fade into thin blue. Light bends over the horizon, touching ridges, one by one, like waking thoughts. The dream of stone continues slow and endless, shaping the world while you rest. And as you breathe, the earth breathes with you, steady, unbroken whole. You can rest now. The planet is still turning. You are part of its quiet motion. The dream continues. The world turns beneath its veil of water. 70% of the earth dreams in blue. From orbit, It looks like breath made visible, slow, rippling alive. Every current, a memory. Every tide, a pulse. The oceans never truly sleep, yet they carry the same rhythm that guides your rest. Waves rise and fall, like the breath of a planet. In their motion, the earth finds balance. And, so do you. The night over the sea is vast and kind. Stars reflect on the surface, trembling slightly, as though the sky is whispering to its reflection. Each flicker of light travels through water, bending and softening until it becomes luminous mist. This is where light learns patience. A photon entering the sea may scatter 1,000 times before dissolving into warmth. It is never lost, only transformed. It's okay to drift. You are that light slowed, softened, traveling gently towards stillness. Beneath the waves, the sound of the world changes. It becomes round and low, a sound without edge. Whales sing across hundreds of kilometers, their voices curving with the planet's rotation. A single note can last 20 minutes, vibrating through layers of cold and warm water. Scientists have measured these tones' frequencies so deep they feel more than they sound. It is the language of the deep, an ancient communication of calm. Your heartbeat slowed in rest mirrors those same long waves. The universe holds you. Far below sunlight's reach lies the midnight zone. No eyes, no color, only the slow drift of bioluminescent life. Tiny creatures spark blue and green as they move, tracing invisible currents. Their light is not for sight, but for orientation, a way to remember where home is in the dark. In sleep, your neurons do something similar. They flash with soft electrical storms, replaying memories, building meaning from silence. It's the ocean's rhythm translated into mind. You can rest now. Currents flow like thought. The Gulf Stream, the Kuroshio, the Antarctic Circumpolar, great rivers within the sea, moving heat, carrying life. Each one turns with the planet's spin, powered by wind and temperature and gravity. They are the bloodstream of the world. Your own circulation follows the same principal motion toward equilibrium. The physics of calm, the body and the ocean, obey the same law to move until stillness is found. Above clouds, drift slowly across moonlight. Their reflection shimmers across the water like a second sky. From space, satellites record faint ribbons of brightness where plankton bloom. Each microscopic cell releases a flicker of light, millions of them glowing softly under the waves. It is the planet breathing in photons. It is sleep made visible. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The air entering your lungs once floated above these waters, heavy with salt and starlight. Each breath carries traces of evaporation from every sea, the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Arctic, mingled into one invisible ocean of air. You are inhaling the memory of tides, exhaling them again into calm. It's okay to drift. Deep in the trenches near the Marianas' dark floor, the pressure is immense, 1,000 times that of the surface. Yet life persists. Tiny organisms glow, move, endure. Their stillness is a kind of strength. It reminds us that rest is not absence, it is resilience. Even under weight and time, there is life quietly continuing. You are part of that quiet. In laboratories, scientists map the rhythm of waves and compare them to the cycles of sleep. They find that deep sleep follows the pattern of deep water, slow oscillations, long periods of calm between motion. Your body is an ocean, its tides controlled by breath and gravity. Each inhale is a wave rising, each exhale a wave falling away. When you let go, the surface smooths. Dreams drift like plankton in gentle suspension. You are floating now between thought and gravity. Somewhere a ray of starlight touches the sea. It travels through layer after layer, bending, scattering, changing color until it becomes heat. That warmth rises slowly to the surface where it meets air again. It is a journey from light to life, from sky to heart. And so is your sleep, a long, quiet transformation. The ocean is never still, yet it knows rest. Its calm is motion so balanced that it becomes peace. When you feel your breath slow, when your thoughts fade into blue silence, you are entering that same balance. Nothing to hold, nothing to fear. Only the soft pull of gravity and the endless turning of water beneath stars. You can rest now. Let the ocean's pulse be your own. Let the world carry you. The tide will keep its promise to return, to rise, to fall, to return again. This is the rhythm of sleep, the geometry of calm. Somewhere under a sky without edges, the sea dreams of light. And tonight, that dream includes you. The universe holds you. You are the ocean, the breath, the stone, the star. All of it moves together slowly, endlessly, without need for control. You are safe here. And as the waves continue their long, patient drift, so does your mind, deeper, slower toward the horizon of rest. The planet breathes, you breathe, and somewhere in that shared silence, the night continues to dream. The night thins into light. It happens so slowly that the sky forgets it is changing. First a gray shimmer, then a pale blue, deepening toward gold. The stars fade not from absence, but from distance. They are still there, still burning, still whispering across time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The long night has carried you across oceans, through stone, through stillness. Now the return begins. Gentle, luminous, complete. Inside your body, 1,000 small awakenings unfold. Cells stir, electricity hums, warmth spreads along hidden circuits. It is not the start of day, not yet. It is the quiet moment before awareness, the in-between. Here in the tender space of almost waking, the universe continues its slow work. Your heartbeat aligns with the spin of the planet. Your blood moves like tides drawn by the moon. You are part of the same rhythm that moves oceans and clouds and light. In the language of science, your body is made of ancient dust. The carbon in your skin was forged inside stars 5 billion years ago. The calcium in your bones once drifted in ocean shells. The iron in your blood came from the core of a supernova scattered across space like a message written in red light. Every breath, every thought, every dream is the universe reorganizing itself for a moment through you. It's okay to drift. You belong here. Outside, morning begins to touch the atmosphere. Photons strike the high air at 3,000,000 kilometers per second. They scatter blue first, then gold, filling the world with direction again. But in this room, the light arrives, slower, softer, diffused by curtains, caught on skin. It folds around you like a quiet thought, and in that light, something ancient stirs, not alertness, but recognition. You have been here before. Each morning repeats a cosmic memory, the transformation of dark to light, of sleep to being. The universe does not wake abruptly, it unfurls. Galaxies expand like slow breath. Stars ignite without sound. Planets spin in patient symmetry. You are part of that same unfolding. You do not rise from sleep. You orbit gently toward it, changing form from rest to motion. The boundary is illusion. There is no before and after, only one continuous wave. You are safe here. When scientists study sleep, they see waves too slow. Oscillations ripples across the brain's landscape. During deep rest, those waves synchronize entire regions, moving as one. It is a state of harmony, of perfect coherence. When you wake, that pattern remains for a while, a soft afterglow of unity. It's what makes morning feel gentle, sacred, even before the day begins its noise. You carry that stillness now. It is part of your structure, the way mountains carry pressure and oceans carry moonlight. In the quiet between stars, you are remembered. Every atom that forms your body was once free, wandering through nebulae, drifting in stellar winds. Now, it belongs to you for a time, but it never forgets where it came from. That is why you feel peace in darkness, why you feel calm under the sky. You are touching home. You are part of the same story that began before time had meaning. You can rest now. Even as you move toward waking, rest continues underneath. It flows in the bloodstream, in the cells, in the unseen mathematics of being alive. The world is not separate from you. It breathes with you, through you, as you. Your heartbeat is its pulse. Your stillness is its night. Outside, the first birds begin their small, bright songs, fragments of sunlight turned into sound. They echo through the air like the first language of creation. Light enters your eyes slow and golden, carrying the warmth of 10 million degrees from the sun's core. But by the time it reaches you, it has become tenderness. It is the same light that shaped mountains, that crossed oceans, that painted every color you've ever known. Now, it rests upon you gentle and complete. Somewhere in space, a star is born. Somewhere else, another fades to darkness. The universe expands, and within that expansion, you wake. You are not apart from it. You are one of its moments, fleeting, luminous, infinite in meaning. To exist is to be part of this great motion of becoming. To sleep is to remember it. To wake is to begin again. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Every motion, every silence, every glimmer of thought, all belong to the same vast design. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. Even dreams have gravity. They shape you as surely as planets shape orbits. And as the day brightens, light folds into breath once more. You are no longer just watching the sky. You are part of it. Your eyes are the lenses of a star. Your breath, the rhythm of a tide. Your body, the dust of eternity. You are home. The night has done its work. The long drift home has brought you here to this quiet moment of being. Light still travels. The universe breathes through you. You are home. You can rest now